Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sanjanish, and I'm here today just to stop by to encourage someone. I just felt in my spirit that there's somebody out there, maybe more than one, that are going through some difficult situation. You feel as if your back is against the wall and you don't know what to do. You don't know where to turn. You don't know who to talk to. You felt trapped. The topic of my live video today, entitled God Was in It With Me and is in it with you too. Notice that I've used the word was, which is the word past tense. Now, when I said that God was in it with me, people may be wondering, what was God in with her? Now, I'm a survivor of domestic abuse. For a few or many that knows me, will know that domestic violence is my niche. That's my niche area. But today, I just felt in my spirit somebody out there somewhere going through something that they're at their wits' end and they don't know where to turn. Just want to share my testimony with you. I remember, when I was going through, you know, experiencing domestic abuse, and I was in it for about 3 years, the maximum. I started out in that relationship when I was 21 years old, and everything was fine. Everything was going fine. I thought he was the guy of my dream. Now, I just want to say that, for those of you who don't think that this video, it's for you, with all respect, you don't leave no comment that, it's offensive. So you can just leave now and allow who God sent me to. Because I do believe God sent me to some people today. And I'm here just to tell you, I'm here to give you some encouragement. Now I'll continue with my story. I entered into this relationship when I was 21 years old, knew nothing about relationship. I was like, naive to the world, how, relationship goes, or, what to do, what to expect, what to look out for in a relationship, what to look for signs, red flags. I didn't know nothing about, those things. All I knew, I was looking for love. And there are many out there today who are looking for love. But many times when we are looking for love, we look for love in the wrong place. Yes, we look for love in the wrong place. We may be looking for love from a human being. People are fragile. They're afraid. They can change anytime. The same person that tells you they love you today, tomorrow, they get up and they change. That's mankind. However, I just want to continue and just say to you that, yes, I entered into this relationship. Things went sour after the birth of my first daughter. And I can tell you, it was very difficult for me because I didn't have family that I could run to. I have one sister that she was there for me in time of need. She's there, but unfortunately, things turned where my partner, my children's dad, he allowed the enemy to use him, and he went off and find himself start a relationship with her, even when we were living together. That was heartbroken for me. Yeah. I developed all sort of emotional instability. I was hungry. Yeah. I felt ashamed. I have never knew at that time that, you know, partners having an affair with, you might be your siblings or, other family members were something that is common. And that to tell you how naive I was, know nothing about this world and what goes on out there. Because I was a Christian girl, I grew up into a Christian home, and many times, when people grow up in Christian environment, it's like the only thing you're used to, is church life and what goes on in church. And if you commit fornication, you know, in the 60s, 70s, the preaching that we used to at church, and how we're being approached and be told that, when you're saying, you're going to go to hell or God is mad with you. But during my difficult time, God was in it with me. He was in my mess. Some of you out there, you're in some messy situation, but God is there with you. You may think you're alone. You're not alone. God is there with you. He's just waiting for you to invite him in. It may not be domestic abuse, yeah? You may be experiencing, financial difficulty. You lose your business. You're at your wit's end. You don't know where to turn. You may be going through a terminal illness. You don't know who to talk to. You feel as if life had been unfair with you. You have done all you can. And look what is happening to you. You may be, questioning yourself, where is God? If God is in it with me, why is this happening to me? When I was going through my ordeal with domestic abuse, I tell you, it was one weekend. Something happened a Friday afternoon, or in the night, I should say. I had reached a stage in my life because I was a backslider when I went into that relationship. And for those who out there who strayed away from God, they will understand me when I said, backslider. Backslider is a person who was a Christian and turned from the faith and stopped serving God. So what happened to me that day, I learned of a evangelistic meeting that was, being held at my church, and I wanted to be part of it, or I just want to attend. You're out there and you're going through a whole lot of, issues, stress. You're feeling down. You feel as if, you can't go on. So you need that extra strength, and that strength comes from God. I need that downpour of the Holy Spirit to energize me, to refresh me, to bring me back to that stage where I was once at. So I went to church, and the guy said he was gonna come, and unfortunately didn't turn up that night. And I went home after the service, and I wasn't happy with him. To be honest, I was angry because I was saying, at this stage, I have 2 children for you. You promised that you was going to marry me, and now you it's as if you're not doing anything. But one thing I would like to say, for those who out there, find themselves in these relationships, where they're giving themselves to these men and they're not married to you, they're not going to marry to you. Very rare. Some start relationship and they do, come into marriage and, make a woman out of you. But if you tend to give yourself to these men, give them what they want. Let me tell you, maybe 8 out of 10 times they don't marry you. They move on to somebody else. So what had happened to me that evening, as I said, I went home and, I approached him and I said to him, where were you? Whole lot of excuse. One of his neighbor was not well and he had to take him to the hospital, and that's why he couldn't turn up at church with me. Anyway, I said, listen, this relationship done. We ain't going no further. I had to take a stand. And when I'm saying to whoever is viewing, is watching this, or who may see that God is in it with you, you may be going through some difficult things, trying things, yeah? Trials, tribulation, one thing after the other. You may be facing a terminal illness, yeah? You've lost your business. Some of you may be out there, experiencing immigration issue. You may be here for many years, and you're wondering, God, when are you going to deliver me? I'm coming back to that bit of it because me too, I've gone through immigration issue. But I'm here to tell you, if you're in domestic abuse, yeah, and you feel as if you're in it alone, there's no way out. How am I going to get out of this? God is in it. He's just waiting for you to say, I have had enough. Enough is enough. That evening, I said to myself, I have had enough. And when I said to him, the relationship done, I can tell you there was a backlash. I thought that even I would lose my life because the intensity of the hunger that came out of that man. When I see, the rage, the outburst, the fierceness, as if he wanted to destroy me that evening. He pulled me from downstairs by my hair. We had lived in a 2-story building, upstairs and downstairs. We occupied downstairs. His parents occupied upstairs. These were elderly people. And I can tell you, they weren't in agreement with his behavior. What can elderly people do when the children, becomes something different from what they grow them to be? I tell her that gentleman, he held me by my hair that evening. He did give me a good walloping. And you know what? Because I'm an overcomer this evening, I am not ashamed because I'm talking to those who are going through it, those that need to hear, those that need to be empowered, those that need to be inspired, those that need to be motivated, that get up, get out, invite God into your situation. That night after that incident with that guy, I went down on my knee because, as I said to you in the beginning, I was a backslider. I thought God had forgotten me because a lot of times when we fall, when we messed up, yeah, when we bring shame on God because we make bad choices, even the church at times will make you feel as if you have done something wrong and there's no forgiveness. I can tell you no. The Bible said the righteous fall 7 times and they rise again. That even I prayed a prayer. You know what my prayer was? I said, God, if you are alive, God, if you love me, because you promised me that you'll never leave me nor forsake me. I said, God, yes, I've disobeyed you. But God, here I am. I'm asking you for a second chance. Give me a second chance, God. I want, Lord God, a second chance to prove to you. But if you deliver me, God, I will serve you. We all know that when we are in trouble, yeah, we will come up with the nicest words and we will tell God what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. And even men, you know, when they abuse their wives and the wives walk away from them or the girlfriend walk away from them and they go back and they promise all the promises, what they're going to do and what they're not going to do and how good they're going to be. I pray that prayer and I tell you, I prayed that prayer the Friday night and by the Monday, God answered me. So in a nutshell, where that, is concerned, I'm just saying to someone today, whatever you're going through, just invite God in it. Domestic violence, it kills. It's on the news like every week you can hear something happen. Women are at risk, men are at risk, children are at risk. Children who grew up into domestic abuse, they develop psychological, mental, emotional issues. This issue of domestic violence is not to be taken lightly. Yes, every time you see me, I'll be talking about it. I want to bring it home. It happened to me, but because of the mercy of God, because of the grace of God, I'm here today. I'm delivered, I'm set free. And let me tell you something with domestic abuse, that it's a spirit. It trickles down generation. And if somebody doesn't deal with it, if you don't deal with it, it's gonna continue into your generational lineage. That demon is not gonna stop until you confront it. A lot of people are feeling ashamed. The church don't want to talk about it, but it's in the church. My dad was a Christian. I'm not here to disgrace my family. I'm bringing an awareness. I want to empower. I want to motivate. I want to inspire somebody today. I want to give a sister the strength to rise out of it. I want to give a brother the strength to rise out of it. 2018. Before I share that story, I just want to end on the story that I was talking about when I prayed and asked God to come and help me. Yes, by the Monday. The issue happened the Friday evening or Friday night. By Monday, God sent deliverance. He sent deliverance. The door of the house that I was living in, it knocked. I remember going through my ordeal. And, I used to talk to an uncle I have in Canada. And I don't know how he get the message to my dad, but he didn't tell me he was going to do it. When the door knocked the Monday morning, it was a brother of mine. He was a police officer. Yeah. And he came to my door and he said, Daddy's outside, want to talk to you. And for those who knew about my book, I'm going to share about my book, later on in this video. They will know, the story about my upbringing, how harsh my dad was. We didn't have a relationship. Yeah. From I was a little girl, I couldn't talk with my dad. Yeah. He has silenced me. So nothing that I go through, I could run to dad. Yeah. Fathers should be protectors. But unfortunately, my dad wasn't that type of dad. Maybe he didn't know any better. He wasn't taught. Some men need to taught. Anyway, he came and he handed me a bunch of key. He said to me, your uncle called me and he told me what you're going through. God worked through any situation. Whatever you're going through, God is in it with you. And even those that you think are not with you, God just waiting for a heart that he can work through. So what I'm saying to someone today, cry out to God. Cry out to God. Your friend can't help you. Even if your friend put you up and that man want to find you, he's going to find you. He's going to persuade you. He's going to try to convince you to come back home. And he's going to tell you, I am not going to do it again. Everything going to be all right. And listen to me. If he hit you once, he's going to hit you again. And let me tell you, God help you if you come out of that alive. So I just want to say to somebody today, listen, God was in it with me and God is in it with you. Sometimes it's no fault of your own. Sometimes these men, they have issue. They have mama issue. They have daddy issues. Yeah, they have anger problem. A lot of people are forming relationship with men or vice versa women who has issues, who have never dealt with it. They have never talked about it. They have never seen counseling. They have never had therapy. And this is the thing I realize with us, human being. It's not a black thing. It's not a poor thing. Yeah? It happened to the middle class. It happened to the upper class. It happened to the rich. It happened to the poor. Domestic violence, it doesn't discriminate. It happened to people who are disabled. It just happened to anybody. Anybody can happen to. I used to feel shameful. I was ashamed of my story. But you know what I'm sharing today? Because I am being delivered. And I'm coming to deliver somebody today. Because I just feel as if there's somebody need to hear this story. And you know what, just go back to, the other story that I want to share about this gentleman. Sometimes people think it's only women go through domestic abuse. A lot of men, they're encountering it. They're facing it, but they don't know who to talk to. It's a shame when men go through, it's hard for them to talk about it. I was at university, it was through, the Market Square in Nottingham, and I saw a friend. I was going to sort my business out, and I can tell you, it was an urgent matter I had. When I saw this person, the person was crying. The person had a stroke. So, I'm a very compassionate person. And I stopped and I said, what's the problem with you? He's a gentleman. And he said that, XYZ, not calling the name, she locked me up. I said, why she locked you up? I know the family. And he said, oh, she reported that, I hit her and I didn't hit her. The person, let me tell you, that person who was talking to me that evening, he had a stroke and he's paralyzed, from one side of him, the entire right side down to his right foot is paralyzed. So I don't see how can he overpower a woman to beat her. And unfortunately, this story, it wasn't, becoming, to know what was really happening to him in his sick stage. So I decided to help him. And, I said to him, it's up to you. Because I don't go around, breaking up people's family. If you're in it and you want to stay in it, hope that God, you'll reach a stage where God convinces you that if you don't do something about it, something going to happen to you. A lot of women, they stay in it. They stay in it just for the sake of children. Don't stay in it for the sake of children. Because listen, you're not doing the children no justice. Sooner or later, the children are going to disrespect you. Yeah? They're going to be angry with you. Because they see you going through it, dad beating upon you or mom beating upon you. They look at you less of a person. There are so many, help out there today. People don't have to stay in it. You find somebody and you talk to them about it. When I spoke to that gentleman that evening, to be honest, he was about to have another stroke. He was so broken. Yeah. And I had to call the ambulance. The ambulance came and, when they check him over and they decide that he needs a place to stay. I'm a single woman. I'm not here looking for a relationship. My children was around at that time. And I said to, I had to talk to my kids, and I came and I talked to my kids. And, One of my daughters, she knew him because she and his son was in the same class. So it's people that we know, didn't have, that in-depth relationship with. But for me, as it's something that, I'm advocating, for, if I see people going through it, I'm going to help you. And I said to my children, he needs to come home with us or with me because he has got nowhere to go. And I rehoused him. He lived with me for, few months until I signpost him where he needs to get help. And gladly today, he has his own place. Yeah, he's not living in that sort of environment no more. So, I'm just sharing that if you ask for help, those out there who know of anyone that is going through it and you can help them. I was in it, and I can tell you it's a horrible situation to be in. Yeah, it robs you of your integrity. You feel undermined. You walk with a shame-based nature. People lose their confidence. They lose who they are. So what I'm just saying to my viewers today, for who will see this video, share it, like, share, and subscribe. Because to be honest, we all need to be empathetic towards whoever's going through it. Now, what I want to say for other issues, people may be going through immigration issue. It takes me 17 years to get settled in the United Kingdom. It takes me 17 years. I faced deportation twice, but because of the grace of God. I remember one instant, I got a letter from immigration and I was about to be deported. And to tell you, that day it was like confusion. When your livelihood is being threatened, let me tell you, you can lose it. I become, confused. It's like I don't even know what to do with myself that day. However, I had a friend and she said, I know somebody who can help you. She linked me with the person, introduced me to the person. The person talked to me and they said, you know what? I know a solicitor in London that can help you. And to tell her that person moved so fast. When we arrived in London, I can tell you, when we got off the train, walking out of the train station, the reason why I'm saying this, and I will tell you, at the beginning, I said the topic of my live stream, my video today is called He Was in It With Me and He's in it with you. When I got off the train, me and my friend, and I said to him, I feel like I'm fainting. I mean, the pressure that was on me. For those who have gone through immigration, know that it comes with pressure. Yeah? Because to be faced with deportation is like your whole life. Might as well it just disappear. That day, and I said to him, I feel like I'm fainting. And I remember he turned around and he said to me, there's a big stone. He said, sit on it quickly. And I ran to the stone and I sat on it. Yeah, and I just rested for a while. I couldn't stay there for long because the office to the solicitor that we were going to, they were going to close for 5 and the time was coming up, to that time. So, just briefly sat there until I caught back consciousness and I got up. When I got up, it's like something says, look behind you. When I looked behind me, there was no stone. I tell you, the stone that he said, sit on, it was a massive stone. And you know what I convinced? That was God. There's a scripture, there's a part in the Bible, I don't remember, but it talk about Jesus as a stone. He's our rock, yeah? Jesus says, upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against you. I can say whatever you're facing today, it will never prevail against you. If you cry out to God, if you speak to him with your whole heart, God is there for you. He can help you. He can deliver you. He's just waiting for you. Whether it's financial problem, another situation, another story. I just feel like I want to testify and tell people, somebody about the goodness of God today. 2006, I had the same immigration issue. I handed my documents to immigration from 2006, and I never get sorted until 2010. I can tell you, there was a solicitor I went to in London. Yes. And sad to say, it's a black solicitor. I'm not racist, but I'm just going to tell you how our own sometimes can misuse us, can abuse us. Yes? And that solicitor, he said to me, if you don't come up with a deposit, yeah, by the following week, he gave me a date. He said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to disregard your application. I tell you, I didn't even know where to get the money from. I didn't know. And I tell you, the Monday, I woke up, I was so confused. And I went to Bulwell, and there was the cooperative credit union. There was a chair it's a bench, I would say, outside, yeah, the office window, and I sat on it. I sat on it because I called a friend and she said, wait for me there. I said to her, can you lend me £20? I tell her I was broke. I was broke then. And that day, I sat and I said, Lord, I know I'm out of money. I'm talking to someone who find themselves in a financial rut today, don't know where to turn. But God promised, He said that He is our provider. Every situation you're going through, He is in it with you. He was in it with me, and I can tell you He's in it with you. Sat on the bench that day, it's like a voice said to me, put your card into the cash machine. I know someone had owed me some money. I didn't know that. I didn't know how to ask the person for it. Yeah. Because sometimes people going through financial difficulties, and even when they have money for you, yeah, and they have some money on them, it's just to take care of their own business. Anyway, I did what God said to do. I put my card into the cash machine, and I can tell you, more than what I wanted was in it. And the person contacted me, yes, and said I was the one that put it in it. So I can tell you, sometimes when you feel down and out and feel discouraged and feel like you're all alone and your back is against the wall and no one cares, God cares. He cares. He cares. He's just waiting for you to cry out to Him, to tell Him what you want. Sometimes, we find ourselves in a situation and we feel like God doesn't want to hear from us. No, He's just waiting for you. He's a loving Father. I could call myself the fallen woman. I had problem with the flesh. I had problem with the flesh. I can tell you, as a Christian, I was weak in the flesh. I keep on making mistakes, making wrong choices, going into relationship that is not good for me, that are abusive. That doesn't happen to me no more because God had delivered me. He had set me free. And I can tell you, He's there for you. He hasn't abandoned you. There are so many testimonies I have and I can share. I'm here and I can tell you at my age, a lot of time people look at me and they said, you don't look your age. It's the grace of God. It's the grace of God. I've written my book and it's to encourage you for those who are going through. This book is called Overcoming by Sandra Niche. Yeah, I've republished. It just got out on the 22nd of March. So if you're looking for a book to inspire, to encourage, to motivate, and to empower you, I can tell you, this is one woman's struggle, yeah, to come out of domestic violence and other issues of abuse. And in this story, I can tell it's a power-packed story. It will open your eyes. It will help you to find that strength. For those of you who think that God is not real, or whatever you're going through, if God was real, why am I going through all of this? You can look at a whole lot of situation. The entire world is in chaos. The incident that happened last week in Texas, a lot of people, they may lose hope, they lose faith, because when this tragic situation happened to them, And even when they know God, they want to question God, where are you? Why did you allow this to happen? If you love me, God, why this happened to me? But all I can say, God is in it. He hasn't left you. He hasn't abhorred you. He hasn't abandoned you. He's not neglecting you. I've gone through neglect. I've been through, rejection. Rejection is not easy. People reject me for reason that I don't know. But I do think God is protecting me. So thank you for those of you who have rejected me. Because you know what? God loved me. Jesus faced rejection. And when you encounter these things, tell yourself, you identify with Christ. So whether you're going through domestic abuse, you're going through immigration issue, you're going through financial situation, you're faced with terminal illness. I have a friend yesterday. She caught the COVID again. And I think this is the third time. And I'm like, God, Jesus. So for those who are experiencing trials, that's the reason why I call my book Overcoming. For those of us who are Christians, and not only Christians alone, whether you're an unbeliever, we all face difficulty. We all go through difficult situation. There are times when you're back against the wall, you feel like there's no way out, and God come and He deliver you. It's last week I've done a video on gratitude. Gratitude is a spirit. When you've been grateful for everything that you have, it's like God just give you that spark within your spirit. Yeah, He energize you. He lift you up. He give you the strength to go on. And the more you're thankful and grateful, is the more God open doors for you. For me, I just get up every day and I thank God. I may go through some difficult situation, but I can tell you, I have one good friend. I have one good male friend, and I can tell you this is a man of integrity. In my story, I can talk about, the things that my countrymen had done me. They are good men from Jamaica. They are good men from Jamaica. I tell you, there's nothing that this person wouldn't give me. And let me tell you, it's not a relationship the person looking for. My children, and let me tell you, when this person giving us things, he gave the best, expensive thing he buy for me and my kids. I'm just, sharing my gratefulness for God, because it's God that comes through this person to help. Because you know what? God is just looking for a heart. Sometimes I say to the person, I know verbally say thank, but what else can I do? The person said, oh, nothing. He said, I'm just here to do what God said to do, send me to do for you. Until God send you that individual. I'm not here advertising because I'm single, I'm looking for a husband. Yeah? Because if a person gonna come and they can't fit in my destiny, there are things that God has for me to do. I've started a charity, not a charity, a CIC. It's called Hands of Rescue. And it's for helping those who are experiencing domestic violence. If you need a place, if you need someone to talk to, I'm going to leave my details before I end this video, and you can get in touch. We're looking for volunteers. Yeah? We're looking for people who are like-minded, people who are compassionate, people who want to help each other. We need to help each other. A lot of people going around tearing down people. People tried with me in the past. They have painted some bad image of me. And to be honest, if you don't know me, try to know me. Because what, people may say, that's not who I am. Because whoever, or if people saying things, they're not saying what they have done me. But let me tell you something. Have you ever seen mother hen and her chicken? And you're trying to like, you see, you want to hold the chicken, you not want to hurt the chicken, and you're going after the chicken, and the mother hen, she come in and start to put on that protective arm around her baby chick. Yeah, or if any animal come in to attack that chick, she's ready to defend. Sometimes I look back and I said, how I approach life, could have done it in a different way. I'm only human. I'm only human. So what I'm just saying, I'm not here to beat up no one. I'm not here to condemn anybody. But, for me, I try to get to know people before, I pass any remarks. Because if someone, you may have, an encounter with someone and it may not go well, but, somebody's may come and, have a different outlook, can say something different. So what I'm just saying today, not only me, let us stop judging people. Let us stop mistreating people. Let us stop isolating people. Yeah. And treat people less of a person because somebody may say something. It's a cruel world we're living in out there. But let us spread more love. So for those of you who want to reach out to me, as I said, I'm doing things to help women. Yeah, I don't just want to be, a talker. I want to be a person, of action. And to be honest, if you haven't got a place to stay, I'm not here to pull people away from their family. Sometimes people need to, somewhere that they can use as a respite, that they can work their issue through. I do believe, in the family, that whatever we can do to help the family to stay together, that's what I'm all about. Yeah. Might be, people just need to separate from each other for a while, work out the issue. Yeah. Get help, get some counseling, get people on board that can help them to see life from a different perspective, and then bring them back together. Maybe the father and the mother just need to take on holiday, to, sort out the issue, what is bothering them. Maybe it's economical issue. The person may lost their job. When you lose your livelihood, people will lose their cool. But there are ways that we can do it. And let me tell you, it's not only, fathers beating up on mothers or mothers beating up on fathers. The children are doing it to the parents too. There are a lot of single mothers out there who are struggling with abuse from the children, but they are so shameful. They don't want to talk about it. They feel shame. I have my friend, she said something to me that, she has a friend that, sad to say, but her own son is, sleeping with his mom and beating his mom at the same time. And she felt as if she's been cornered. She don't know who to talk to about it. So I'm just sharing that little bit to let people know that, listen, you don't need to feel ashamed. You need to find somebody who are confident that you can talk to instead of bearing the burden on your own. A lot of people are taking, they're taking their own life, because when life becomes too much and they feel overwhelmed. When people feel overwhelmed, yeah, the trials, the testing, life becomes too heavy. Situation becomes unbearable. Then they decide their only option is to take myself out. No. If you feel like you need somebody to talk to, you can visit my website, www.nichecreation.co.uk. And as I said, I'm talking to people who need help, not for, for those who are going to come and, try to manipulate, what I'm trying to say today. Because we need to be more loving and understanding and forgiving. I realize this, we are living in a world filled with people who are unforgiving. Unforgiveness, we are only blocking ourselves and hindering ourselves, when we go at people trying to destroy people. So what I'm just saying today, I stopped by just to throw, some little pebbles or some little petals in somebody's basket to empower, to motivate, to encourage, yeah? To encourage somebody who's going through a difficult situation. If it's immigration you're facing, hold on. Hold on. God will come through. If you need help, as I said, you can get in touch with me. My business email is info@nichecreation.co.uk. My website, www.nichecreation.co.uk. You can download the book from my website. You can also, the book is in Lulu and it's on Amazon. If you need encouragement, if you need to be inspired, if you need motivation and empowerment, you can get in touch with me. Thank you very much for listening. Catch you soon. Bye-bye.